Welcome to Between the Covers. We're the show for readers and writers and lovers of books. I'm Stephanie, and I'm so excited to be joined by four amazing authors tonight. So please welcome Jerry Alward, Roseanne Responti, Linda Frank, and Rosanna Guadalajara. Okay, that's a lot of talent on one couch. And considering that 90% of the world on a poll would like to write a book and only a 0.5% actually do, I got them all on the couch at the same time. I love that. Jerry, love this book. Jerry Alward is the author of Nassau County Police Department, Images of America. If you haven't seen this book yet, it is gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. Look at these pictures. This was a lot of research on your part.
Yes, it was. Yes.
Okay, tell me about the beginning of this book. What made you do it?
Well, I've always been involved in history, and I enjoy it and passionate about it. And I think what drove me to this is that I was on the police department for 32 years, and the community, Nassau County and Long Island, have a deep history going back to the Revolutionary War and even before that. So Long Island and Nassau County specifically has a very good well to draw from for information and for history. Yeah.
Now, when you worked for the police department, were you a historian or were you?
No, I started out in uniform like everybody else, and then I went to the detective division. Okay. And I spent 29 years in the detective division.
Oh, so the stories you can tell us.
Yeah, a lot more than that.
That's what's in the book, exactly.
So I did stints in narcotics, vice squad,
right,
and precinct squads, stuff like that, a little homicide. And in the book, the interest of the book for the history of the police department came because this was the first one. There was never one done before. Right. And going into the archives of the museum and other aspects of research and stuff, I found enough to put it together, and Arcadia Publishing was good enough to publish the book for me.
Fabulous, and it is just gorgeous. Leafing through it, I was reminded of so many headlines that were coming up. Did you have a favorite?
I tried to pick some of the ones that, there were so many to draw from and stuff like that, but I tried to pick some of the ones that maybe other people would be interested in, like the Avianca crash of 1990 that was up in January 25th, and some of the other ones were, I don't know if people are familiar with the 1955 Woodward murder up in Oyster Bay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which there was movies made of that. Dominic Dunn did a series on that, and Truman Capote.
Okay, you're much too young that you were working on that case.
Yeah, no, I wasn't on the case. I wasn't on the case.
You were not on that case.
But interesting ones to find out as in the archives and things like that.
Yes, especially if they made a movie out of it.
Exactly, and some of the things that were missing and that weren't, not a lot of people were privy to and things like that.
And then I saw the Long Island Lolita was in here.
Yes, she was in there, and I'm sure everybody remembers her.
Of course.
She was in there, and that was. I didn't get real big into that, or the Long Island Railroad massacre with Colin Ferguson. Everybody would remember, So horrific ones and stuff like that. I think one of the biggest ones that had such casualties and things like that was the Avianca one. And,
yes.
Which could have been avoided and stuff like that. So I just touch on those a little bit, but some of the other things in there that are just historic to the county and historic to the profession and things like that. Right.
Well, what I love about a book like this is this is really now part of the history of our county. This is, anytime we have, is there a copy of it in our historical museum or anything like that? What has gone on with the book?
Well, a lot of libraries have picked it up.
Oh, good.
Yes, a lot of libraries have picked it up, and the police department, of course, supports that.
Right.
The Commissioner Patrick Ryder, did a forward on it, and he was excellent, and he did give me a lot of help with that. And it's in the museum. The book is in.
Good.
The police department has their own museum. I don't know if people know that, but they have their own museum.
Where is the police
It's in
department?
police headquarters in Franklin Avenue in Mineola, New York.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Linda, you're nodding your head. You've been there?
Yes, because I taught forensic science and I took my students to visit it.
Okay, now this is news to me that
it's
you
so
taught forensic
interesting. Some of the
science.
pictures are just
They are.
priceless.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you
very
said it's
interesting.
in Mineola.
It's at 1490 Franklin Avenue.
Now it's open to the public?
It is at certain times. I mean, you'd have to call ahead, and you call the Public Information Office, or just call the Nassau County Police Department and ask for the Public Information Office, and they'll tell you when the museum is open.
Wow.
Yeah, and they have a police week in May.
Right.
That it's open to the public, that they can go view the some of the venues of the police department and the museum itself.
That's wonderful. Can
Yeah.
people bring children or school groups or
Absolutely,
anything like that?
absolutely.
Really?
They have the mounted unit, they have the helicopter, and they have
Wow.
this special.
I knew there was the fire department had the museum out
Yeah.
on Museum Row, but I didn't know about
Yeah,
the
the police department does. Yes, yes, very good. Yeah.
Wow.
Great class trip.
Yeah.
Oh,
It is, yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
And for any parents who might be homeschooling their children, it's great to know that these resources are
Right.
available. We want
Right.
people to know about them.
So just call the Nassau County Police Department and ask for the Public Information Officer, and they'll guide you as to when it's open and how to set something up.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, how long did it take you to write this?
That
A
took
lot
me
of
about,
research.
Yeah, that took me about a year and a half, because there's 228 pictures in it, which and you're limited for the size of the book and things like that.
Right.
There's 228 pictures, and the captions can't be up to 18,000 words and things like that. So
Right.
all the captions are my captions and writing and things
Fantastic.
like that. Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, is this your first book?
That's my first. I have another book coming out next year.
Well, your seat on the couch is going to be kept
Well,
warm. I am
well,
ready. Okay.
It's a little. It's also the police department. But
Oh, really?
It's a true crime book.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a true crime. It's the story of the first Nassau County police officer that was murdered, Fred Hirsch.
Really?
Yeah, so it's a true crime, and it's about the murderer and how he grew up and things like that, and how he came about. And it was a murder spree between Nassau County, and it went through New York City and up into Yonkers. So it has quite of a tale on it.
Wow. Well, I love that you're in such different genres. So tell me a little bit about writing something like this versus writing true crime.
Well, they're both nonfiction, so it's
Right.
a lot of research.
Yes.
So there's not much difference in it. They're both real. Everything in that book is real. All those pictures and all the captions are actually things that have actually taken place
Right.
in history. And I broke them down into 6 chapters. But with the new book, that's also history, but it's also true crime. So it's something that happened, and a lot of people don't know about it. That the first police officer that was
No.
murdered in Nassau County.
Absolutely.
He left a family of 4 kids, and there's a lot to it. And
Right,
yeah,
right.
without getting more into it and stuff like that.
I guess we're going to have to find out next year and read the book. He's not going to divulge what happened.
No,
nothing.
I can't get into all that.
No.
Yeah,
Next
you're gonna-
year
yeah,
we'll read the
yeah,
book. I
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Are you one of those authors that has 3 other half-finished manuscripts all over?
Well,
your
I
book?
have that one coming out next year through the History Press, and I have 2 others.
I knew it.
I have 2 others, but my favorite has always been historical fiction.
Okay.
Which brings me to the historic of these. These are nonfiction, but I
Right.
have a historical fiction one that I'm working on.
Now,
too, so.
you brought a book that you wanted to recommend
Yes.
to us. Tell me about this book. Now that you mentioned historical fiction.
This is a historical fiction
Exactly.
book, and it takes place during the Civil War. And it's John Brown's body, but it isn't the John Brown that we know from Harper's Ferry.
Okay.
It's John Brown, but it takes you through some of the battles, and it's a very interesting read with the times that it took place in 1863 and 1864 during the height of the Civil War, and some of the campaigns and some of the strategies and things like that. But it also has a twist into the murder and
Right.
plot and the thriller of it and stuff like that. It has a
Fantastic.
good ending, and
Well-
it is a good read.
All right. Well,
Yes.
I have a son who is a history buff. I hope he's watching tonight. Probably not, because he doesn't watch his mother on TV.
Yeah, right.
All right, we're going to break for commercial, and I want a piece of Nassau County history. Can I have your autograph,
Sure.
please? Let's hear from our sponsors. Thanks.
Twilly-dilly-dee, 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 tweet, tweet.
She talks to the people all night long, chatting and a gabbing and a singing her song. All the divas down on Rainbow Street love to hear Tony go tweet, tweet, tweet. Talking Tony, talk, talk, talking Tony. Oh, talking Tony, really gonna talk tonight.
That's right, keep it going. That's right, keep it going. That's right, keep it going. That's right, keep it going.
Writing a book is the adventure of a lifetime. Red Penguin Books take pride in giving our authors a publishing experience that is stress-free and celebratory all the way. Some of our authors first approach us with no more than an idea for a book that's ready to sprout. Others submit completed manuscripts. Whether you're at either end or anywhere in between, our goal is to get you published. At Red Penguin Books, we offer options and opportunities that are unique in the world of publishing, and all of them are designed to keep you, the author we so deeply respect, in the driver's seat, unlike other publishing houses. So, if you want to write a book and are looking for a publisher, we've got you covered. Red Penguin Books deal in publishing services, book development, and ghostwriting for digital, print, and audiobook. Call us at 516-448-4993 or visit our website www.redpenguinbooks.com.
Welcome back to Between the Covers. Thanks so much for joining us. Our next author, Roseanne Responti, wrote Blossom and the Tricky Mirror. I'm very fortunate that I got to hear her presenting on this book. It is a beautiful book with such a huge message.
Thank you very much. Thank you
so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I love the book. Tell us a little bit of synopsis of it, and then, what inspired you?
It is teaching, it talks about self-compassion.
Yes.
And really encourages children to think kind self-thoughts in their head.
Absolutely.
Because all too often, and you paid me a lovely compliment off air, and it really doesn't matter what is in the mirror when we look in the mirror or what other people see. It's our self-perception, and that is what's mirrored back to us are our own insecurities and our self-doubt and that critical voice in our head.
It's so true.
And I have 3 daughters, and their friends are always over the house. And I keep an ear out to what they're talking about because I want to stay involved in their lives. And all too often I hear these beautiful young ladies ripping themselves apart and standing in front of the mirror, and I'm too this, and I'm too that, and I'm too tall, too thin, too fat, you fill in the blank. We can all fill in the blank.
We can. And
yes.
It's not just the young girls.
Yes, it's not. And
that's
why,
yes. We are all our own worst enemy.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's why this book, when people ask me the age, grades, it's really K through 6, but it can resonate with anyone.
That's right.
With adults.
I can give this to a 50-year-old.
You can, absolutely, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I love the poem you wrote on the back.
Thank you, thank
Would
you.
you mind reading it?
I would love to read it, absolutely.
Thank you.
I don't have my glasses, but I should know it by heart. I don't. Thank you. Just cough if I stumble a little.
No, I'm going to check that out.
That bully in my head. And I really feel that this kind of embodies the message of the book.
Absolutely.
That bully in my head was rude and quite the pest. It chitter-chattered night and day and never took a rest. The things it said were horrible, yes, it was awfully mean. A sneaky little coward, heard but never seen. That bully thought it knew me, pretended to be on my side. I started to believe it, then heard it laughing as I cried. I mentioned it to my parents just the other day. I was a little nervous, but found the courage anyway. They did not seem a bit surprised and quickly calmed my fear. Daddy knelt on bent knee and whispered in my ear. Daddy says he knows that bully, but it has a different voice. Then Mommy said I should never believe it and that I have a choice. So now I've learned to shut it up with kind words in my head. That bully has lost its power, and now I listen to myself instead.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
very good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That is such a huge
Thank
message.
you.
Now, I do want to show off what a gorgeous book this is.
Thank you.
Because it is such a beautiful book for us to all see.
Thank
But
you.
the message, as we said, it's so important. And, you know,
Thank you.
I'm looking at these pictures, and if this isn't the most beautiful little girl in
Thank
the
you.
world,
Yes.
and you're saying, really? You don't
She's-
feel good about yourself?
Yes,
But
that's right. Absolutely.
It's every one of us.
It is every one of us.
It is, and it's so
It is.
important, no matter what the age. I mean, look at how much is going on in our world with
That's right.
self-doubt
That's
and,
right.
and such.
That's
you
right.
know, it's so important. So you have daughters, and is that what
I do.
inspired you?
That is absolutely. They're my inspiration for everything I do in life.
I love that.
And two of them are here today.
And today's National
Yes.
Daughter Day.
Oh, happy-
So a
yes.
shout out to your daughters.
Yes, Alexa, Ava, and Julia.
I have a
love you.
daughter. I want to do a shout out to my daughter. If anyone else on the couch has a daughter, do a shout out. It's National Daughter
Yes.
Day. And daughters, you're beautiful.
Yes, you are.
You are so beautiful, all of you.
And you're enough. That's what you need to know. You are enough, regardless of what you feel about yourself. You are beautiful, and you are enough, and you need to know that and the underlying message of all of this, we need to be giving our children the foundation of strong emotional literacy, and our schools, we teach our kids how to read, how to write. We teach them, we make them memorize facts about our country and historical, which we should. That's wonderful.
right, but-
But we're not giving them the emotional component. And you can be the greatest athlete, you can be the best scholar, but if you don't believe in your own abilities and in yourself, you're not going to take that ball to the net, and you're not going to realize your true abilities or your worth.
That is so
Yes.
absolutely true.
Yes, and we're missing the window. We teach our kids at a young age when they can absorb it during critical periods of learning.
Right. And you know what happens, unfortunately, is until a child gets to a point that it's a critical stage,
Right.
that the child is, you know, God forbid, suicidal.
Absolutely.
Or failing in school or depressed or some other
Yes.
symptom is rearing its head, and then we address
Absolutely.
self-image instead of
Absolutely.
from
Well,
the crux.
I always say, prevention is so much better than healing.
Absolutely.
And we, as a society, adults are searching for answers to heal their own childhood wounds. But if we never allow those wounds to happen as much as we can, because our experiences are vast,
Yes.
as much as we can control that in our own little bubble, we can make such a difference on how our children grow up and the kind of the way they feel as adults.
You're absolutely right.
Yes.
Now, I love that your message was inspired by your daughters, but a book, like that's a huge undertaking. You know, it's one thing to say, I'm inspired by my daughters to make sure that I spread, you know, good words to other people, but what made you write a book? What an undertaking.
At the conference, you heard me speak. This has been, and I, don't mean to offend anyone. I don't know anybody's spiritual beliefs, but can only speak for myself. This has been divine intervention from the beginning, and I have been pulled along this journey.
Oh, I love that.
This has been from God's mouth to my
Yeah.
ears, not my mouth to God's ears.
Right. You're just.
This is
you're
my
just the
purpose and my
hands.
passion. Absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely.
What,
Thank you.
What a wonderful thing
Thank
to
you.
feel a calling and to follow a passion.
Absolutely. I'm blessed.
That is fantastic, because so many people, not only do we have an issue nowadays with poor self-image, but I think we do have an issue with people not being open to the voice, whatever that voice is, and following through with their
Absolutely.
passion.
Right.
And I'm
Absolutely.
so thrilled
Thank you very much.
that you can sit here and say,
Thank you.
I listened and I followed my
Yes.
passion.
Yes,
So tell
thank
me,
you.
where's that passion leading next?
I wrote two additional books.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, that I am going to publish early 2020.
Wow, I guess we're going to have to
Yes.
keep these seats warm on the couch.
I'll be sure not to wear red the next time.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm loving the little flag look over here.
Blossom Believes. touches upon manifestation in a very age-appropriate fashion.
Okay.
And it just really encourages children to believe in themselves and what we envision we really can bring into our reality with the power of our minds.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, thank you.
Manifestation is
Thank you.
huge.
It is. It is. And again,
Absolutely.
these are all messages, and I don't mean in adult language, but we need to touch upon these with our
Absolutely.
children.
So Blossom Believes is the next after Blossom and the
Yes.
Tricky Mirror.
Yes.
Did you say there were two?
And Blossom Tweeting is for the birds. It encourages children
Ooh, I like
to
that.
get off of social media because all too often.
Except for right now when we want you to
Yes.
share the show.
Yes, right.
Please share the show.
Not now. Not
And then
now.
get off social
Right,
media.
yeah. Children base their worth on the number of likes
Oh,
and
you're so
thumbs
right.
up that they get, and they are constantly, oh, this one like this, and no, it's all about validating yourself.
It is.
So we need to get back to face-to-face communication and take our disputes, our communication offline,
Oh,
and cultivate
please.
authentic human relationships.
Yeah.
Because the friends that we have on Facebook are not our friends.
No.
The people that you sit with face to face, I love my friends and my family here.
That's right.
That's
and I know our
your
camera
circle.
doesn't see it, but we have
Yes.
an audience all here.
Those are your true friends.
You're right.
Yes.
You're absolutely right. And things get so distorted on social
do.
media.
They do.
You know, I remember the good old days when I was in school. If you and I had a fight, then at the end of the school day, I'd go home, you'd go home. We wouldn't see each other.
That's right.
We wouldn't speak of it because we weren't allowed on the phone back then. And then the next day, when you went back to school, you know, it fizzled out. Now it doesn't fizzle out because everyone just
It
keeps
grows.
adding fuel to the
and
fire.
the platform, there are so many more people that are witness to and that can weigh in when they don't even have. I
I
was
have a
talking.
vested interest in this.
Yes,
It's not your problem.
Yes, I was speaking to a good friend of mine. It's funny, you might have him on your show at some point, but he is writing a book comparing how we grew up socially to how our children are growing up now,
Very
and,
big
and the
difference.
differences, and a humorous approach, but nonetheless, all too.
Oh, so
true.
I like
Yes.
that tweeting book. We need to get
Yes,
in on
thank you.
that.
Yes, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank
So
you.
where can our viewers find you and your books?
On my website at blossomkids.net.
I love that, blossomkids.net.
Thank you, and it will be on Amazon next week.
Terrific.
And also, you can email me, and I will take orders for the book. It's going to be in many school districts. I've received a lot of interest
That's
and
fantastic.
a warm embrace from everyone.
Wonderful.
So my goal is to take this to every child nationwide.
Well,
and I will not stop until I do.
I love
Yes,
that.
thank you.
Well, I am taking this to my 22-year-old daughter.
Wonderful.
So that she can know that she is fabulous. Thank you so much. We're going to hear from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Thank you. Thank you. What's her name?
Are you interested in writing, but you're unsure how to get started? Or perhaps you're already an author, but want to hone your skills and receive supportive yet constructive feedback? Welcome to WebWritersRetreat.com. Developed to help once and future authors like you to gain from positive and supportive criticism of your submissions from other writers and our professional staff, push forward through personal timetables and writing exercise sessions. Sharpen your skills through group coaching and Q&A sessions with literary experts. Receive practical resources such as templates, downloads, links, online courses, and free ebooks. Benefit from book reviews and opportunities to join a beta team to enrich yourself as well as other authors. Save with special discounts for publishing services and online courses, social media, and email marketing, and a whole lot more. Visit WebWritersRetreat.com and turn your writing dreams into reality.
Writing a book is the adventure of a lifetime. Red Penguin Books take pride in giving our authors a publishing experience that is stress-free and celebratory all the way. Some of our authors first approach us with no more than an idea for a book that's ready to sprout. Others submit completed manuscripts. Whether you're at either end or anywhere in between, our goal is to get you published. At Red Penguin Books, we offer options and opportunities that are unique in the world of publishing, and all of them are designed to keep you, the author we so deeply respect, in the driver's seat, unlike other publishing houses. So, if you want to write a book and are looking for a publisher, we've got you covered. Red Penguin Books deal in publishing services, book development, and ghostwriting for digital, print, and audiobook. Call us at 516-448-4993 or visit our website, www.redpenguinbooks.com.
Do you have a book, either in your head or on your desk, just waiting to get out to anxious readers? Hi, I'm Stephanie Larkin, author, book developer, and head penguin at Red Penguin Books. We're a publishing company specializing in books of all genres and publishing in all formats, including digital, audible, and print books. From business books to romance, memoirs to mysteries, our authors have complete control over their books from start to print. We'll help get your book to booksellers all around. Major booksellers such as Amazon, Apple, Kobo, Walmart, even libraries and bookstores around the world. We believe in our authors. So call or email today to get your free publisher's packet to get started. Just visit us at redpenguinbooks.com and get your book out there and into the hands of your readers. At Red Penguin Books, you call all the shots. So call us today and turn your dreams into a reality. Welcome back to Between the Covers, and thank you so much for joining us. I am so thrilled to welcome our next author, who sent over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books. I had to lift weights. Please welcome Linda Frank. Thank you. Wow. Wow, you have been busy.
Yes.
I love that. I was fortunate to read The Mystery of the Lost Avenger, and then she showed up today with all the other mystery books in the Annie Tillery series, and now I'm thinking this is like Nancy Drew. There's a whole series. I'm loving. I was thinking that when I read this one, but when you showed up with the Madonna Ghost and Secrets in the Fairy Chimneys, and the girl with the pencil drawing. I mean, this is definitely, she is rivaling Nancy Drew. How many books are we going to go for here? The whole?
Well, we're working on another one.
Ooh, but that couch is going to be ready.
Sidetracked because I'm also writing a book kind of based on some of my experiences going to Catholic school.
Ooh.
So it's a mystery. I love mysteries.
I see that.
I just can't get out of that genre.
Right.
But it's also funny.
Now, is this new mystery series going to start a whole another series also?
I don't know.
You don't know yet?
I don't know. You know, it could or it could not. I'm kind of stuck with Annie. My heroine's name is Annie Tillery.
She's fabulous.
I'm listening to these two ladies who are talking about, you know, self-image and the problems that girls face with that. And I created what I thought was the teenager loved to have been. So she is immersed, and she also has her self-image problems, as I just think all girls have self-image problems.
And boys do as well.
Everybody does.
Yes.
Children do.
Yes.
And
adults too.
Yes.
Everybody does.
well,
Yes.
here we go.
Here we go. Who doesn't?
So we should have a little group.
Evidently,
therapy.
Annie Tillery does not.
Well, no, Annie does, but what I tried to do was create something that a character girls could relate to. For instance, one of the first criticisms I got from the editors was, you didn't really describe Annie physically. And I said I did that on purpose because I wanted the girls who read this to create their own image of Annie.
Okay,
And probably they would create the image of Annie in their own image, which would be very, I think, enable them to enhance their own self-images. So I was into that problem too, because I taught
I love the way you
for
described that.
many years. I'm not even going to say how many, and I taught from 5th grade through graduate school. So I really got an idea of how girls and boys too deal with their self-images, because I spent a lot of time in middle school, let's put it that way. So.
Linda, I love that this particular one that has enhanced interactive material has you as author and educator. I love that, because these are educational in that way of building up, and it was a beautiful way of putting it right there. I've never seen that on the bottom of a book before.
Well, that book in particular, what I did is I took the first book, which is the Madonna Ghost,
right,
and I enhanced it. What I did is, because I do school visits, and kids ask questions, and they ask very insightful questions. So I saved the questions, and at the end of each chapter in the book, I talked about how I wrote it. It's really the story behind the story. I enhanced the characters.
Right.
One of the best characters, of course, is Annie's boyfriend, because Annie's boyfriend and Annie's boyfriend is always there, and they're always solving these mysteries together. And I kind of fleshed out Ty a little bit more. His name is Tyler Regan, and also she lives with her aunt, and I fleshed her out too. I kind of try to give the motivation behind why the characters are the way they are.
I think that's fabulous. Do you have plans of doing this fleshed out version for the other books as well?
Yes, I just finished. Actually, I just published Fairy Chimneys. I did that for Fairy Chimneys, because Fairy Chimneys takes place at an archaeological dig. See, what I did with these books is I taught forensic science, and I took the areas of forensic science that were most interesting to me, and that's where the plots for the books come from. So for me, the inspiration for a book is usually setting. I'm a big setting person. You know, I must have the decorator gene or something. but it's setting. And so the first one was Fire Island. Who doesn't love Fire Island, who's ever been there?
Exactly.
And the second one takes place in Brooklyn and Manhattan. And it's all about art forgery. So I can't tell you what the Madonna Ghost is about forensically, because it's a secret until the end. But Girl with Pencil Drawing is about art forgery and art crime, which, by the way, is a $6 billion a year
Is it really?
enterprise. Yes, and that's what's reported. So what I did in these books was I took a particular area of forensic science and I fleshed it out for the kids. And I did it in kind of a CSI fashion. In fact, that's my tagline for my books, Nancy Drew meets CSI.
I love that.
And I go into the forensics and how evidence is processed. So I try to include mystery, history, and science. They all have history in them.
Yes.
Right?
I was thinking about Jerry, and you're not writing nonfiction, but you are researching and presenting as an educator.
Right, and you read Avenger, and Avenger takes place here on Long Island.
Yes, I loved that.
And it goes back in time. It takes place in 1943 because it's about Annie's great-grandmother, who was a test pilot for Grumman. And it sounds like I'm making that up, but I'm not, because women were test pilots for Grumman. There was the Women's Air Service pilots, and that they were called the WASPs. And there were plenty of them. I actually interviewed a woman. She was like 96 when I interviewed her, but she was an engineer for Grumman. Imagine in 1943 a woman having a job as an engineer in Grumman. So what I do in this book for girls really is I show them how important they were at a time when they were needed.
Right.
So the premise of the book is there is a plane that crashes in 1943, and the Avenger is an airplane. It's an airplane. If you go to the Cradle of Aviation Museum,
I love
and
that
that's what
museum.
happened to me. I
So
was in the
beautiful.
Cradle of Aviation Museum with my son, who likes to go there every time he comes to visit. And I was just wandering around, and I saw this plaque, and the plaque was a dedication to the women who built the planes, tested the planes, flew the planes to the West Coast, where they were put on aircraft carriers. And that was a day that you can actually, they have special days where you can climb into the airplanes. So I climbed into the airplane, and this feeling came over me, and I said, I have to write a book about this.
Oh, I love that.
And so I had the plane crash in the Appalachians in 1943 and not be found until 2014. Right. And there's a note in the plane. It's traced to Annie's family and her mother. She and her mother, who she has problems with her mother too. She and her mother solve the mystery of what happened in the crash. And it goes back and forth from 1943. So you get a real taste of what it was like for women in 1943. I talk about smoking and all kinds of things that people did in 1943 that we don't do anymore.
They don't do now, though.
Well, I'm gonna ask for an autograph from my daughter to send this to her as well with the self-image book, because my daughter happens to be in the Air Force.
Oh.
So I am thrilled. And when I read this, I said, I know who is getting this book. She happens to be in the Air Force. She's in the Air National Guard stationed out at Gabretsky Air Guard Base right here on Long Island. Mm-hmm. So she will be reading The Mystery of the Lost Avenger.
You know, actually, I have two audiences. I have, I would say, advanced elementary school kids to 9th graders, and women my age love them because they're evocative of Nancy Drew.
Absolutely. That's why I loved it. I was a Nancy Drew fan. So I was reading this, and then when I came here and saw so many more, I knew about them, but something about seeing the pile of books waiting for me, I said, it's like Nancy Drew. I absolutely love this. Before we break, can you just mention, I know you are so good about promoting authors here on Long Island as well, and have a show that you promote them. Can you tell our audience a little bit about that?
Yes, my show is called The Writer's Dream. You can see it on Cablevision, Channel 20, Thursdays at 3 o'clock, or I'm on YouTube. Just search my name, but it has to be my full name. It's Linda Maria Frank. And then click on my picture, and I must have like 150
I'll
interviews.
stick a link to that at betweenthecoverstv.com also, so that we can get people over to watch that.
Yeah, it's just YouTube/Linda Maria Frank.
Wonderful, and thank you so much for all you do for authors on Long Island.
Yeah, I enjoy that though. It's you learn a lot.
Thank you.
And you share a lot, and you find out a lot. And
fantastic. All right, let's hear from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you for joining me.
What's your name?
Kat.
The British smash The Full Monty is coming to the Argyle Theatre. Visit the box office at argyletheatre.com or call us 844-631-5483. The Full Monty? Drop everything.
Welcome back to Between the Covers. I am so excited to have author Rosanna Guadavacaro, who wrote Peter Saves for a Rainy Day, and then sent me little little piggy banks in red and blue to match my book. I love this. So welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us. The book is gorgeous. Absolutely a beautiful book. Tell us a little bit about what inspired it.
Sure. So the idea kind of came to me many years ago. I had just graduated college. I'm walking out of my ceremony. My grandmother's to my left, my mother's to my right. And I'm walking out of the ceremony and I see all these credit card companies kind of promoting, you know, to sign on with them.
At graduation?
At graduation. And they're giving away umbrellas and mugs and pens. And I said, wow, like here we are, you know, we just graduated college, we're trying to find what we love, trying to get our careers in order, and debt is being introduced to us.
Oh my gosh.
And it was mind-blowing to me. I actually felt
like... What a slap in the face right there at graduation.
Yeah, I felt that, what if banks were outside, kind of encouraging us to open up savings accounts, or investment firms encouraging us to open up accounts? Then maybe the savings component would have been introduced to us. So that was really when the idea first came into my mind. And then I started a career in finance, educating adults on saving and protecting their money. And I'm still doing that to this day, and it's a great passion of mine. And I think the connection kind of came again when, you know, I have a son who's 10. And around the age of 6, you know, I was teaching an adult a concept. And I hung up the phone, and my son runs over to me and he says, "Mommy, you know, I think I know what life insurance is." And I said, you know, my son's name is Vito. And I said, "Vito, what is it?" And he's like, "Mommy, life insurance is when someone passes away, goes to heaven, and the money goes to their family." And that's when I thought to myself, you know, just like how children learn ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, you know, just teaching them financial concepts at such a young age is so important.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
So I just started writing. And it took some time because I was scared. You know, I'm like, oh my goodness, my words are going to be out there in the universe. Am I using the right word? You know, Italian was my first language.
Really?
So when I went to school, I was actually speaking Italian and English. So I really had to work very hard at reading and writing. So I think that's what, you know, I needed more time to kind of write the book. But once I got over being scared, you know, I embraced it, and I just, you know, just started writing one page after another. And then I would sketch. You know, I'm not an artist by any means, you know, but I would sketch certain, you know, drawings to each page that I would write.
Right.
And then I actually spoke to a friend of mine who's an illustrator. She was an illustrator for JetBlue. Now she's an illustrator. She's also working for Verizon, and she loved the concept. And those are handwritten with acrylic paint.
Yes, you passed along to me the originals. Can I pass those over so you can show us?
I could show you one of my favorite pages.
I love that when you said, "I have the originals."
Yeah.
I love that.
You know, so there's a few concepts in the book. So once I was able to put pen to paper and then do my sketches and then show them to the illustrator, and she made them what they are today, clearly. I hired an editor that would actually help me get over the fear of not putting a comma in the right place or not using the right word. And she said to me, "Wow, Rosanna, there's a lot of concepts in this book."
Absolutely.
You know, there's the concept of financial literacy. There's a little boy that's growing, and as he's growing, he's living life, and he's going through things like, what do I want to do when I grow up? And she says, "Wow, that's many concepts. Maybe you want to eliminate one." And I said, "You know what? I want to keep them all in there, because children are just like people. They're just smaller."
Right.
And I feel like they'll really be able to grasp the concept. One of my favorite pages is, you know, it's like a budgeting. It's a budgeting page. So the book is really about a little boy that's trying to find like what he loves to do, and just trying to understand the concept of earning money and where that goes. And part of it goes to expenses, and part of it goes to savings. So I'm just going to show you that page. So that's this right here.
Oh, I love that.
So it's like just
The
a little
pie
pie
chart,
chart,
yes.
you know, and the right being the savings component, and then the expenses just being towards the left side.
Yes.
So I try to use color. to really grasp the attention of the children. You know, I'm very lucky. I'm an approved vendor with the Department of Ed. My book is in about a dozen schools, about a dozen libraries. It was in the Museum of Finance.
Wow!
So really,
Congratulations.
you know, my mission really is two things. You know, I want to impact as many children as I can, teaching them financial concepts, because I think as an adult, being a saver, it gives you the power to make different decisions in your life.
Yes.
Like, I would never have been able to write a book if I wasn't a saver.
Right.
I wouldn't have been able to make different choices in my life if I wasn't a saver.
Right.
And secondly, the proceeds of the book go to a charity, a children's charity. And this year, I've designated the Olivia Bacuzzi Foundation, which is a charity for children that have cancer tumors.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for all of that.
Very nice.
Can you tell us where we can find your website? And I want to make sure we have a link on our website to that charity as well. So tell us where we can find you.
Sure. The name of the website is peterssaveschildrensbooks.com.
Okay.
That's where you can get the book.
Terrific, terrific. Now I see there's another book here, Peter Takes the Train.
Yeah.
Now, which one came first?
Peter Saves for a Rainy Day came first.
Okay.
And you know, that one came second. But I kind of brought them out at the same time.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a whole series of Peter?
There is. Peter Moves to the Big City is the third.
Oh, okay.
I waited some time to write that.
Okay.
I had a little bit of writer's block, but you know, this is like the first time that things like this are being introduced. So I could totally relate to what Roseanne said. You know, I get asked a question like, what age group is this?
Right.
You know, and when it really hasn't been taught in schools, it's hard, because I feel like anyone can really learn from it.
Absolutely.
Even an adult.
Yes.
And the second book is more about what to do with that savings portion. So the first book is about earning the income, finding what you love, part of it going to savings, part of it going to expenses. And the second book is about what to do with that part of the savings.
Fantastic. I love that. And you're so right. If we can teach them when they're young. Now, I teach business math in the college, and they don't know what life insurance is either, or any of those other terms in the college. So we absolutely need financial literacy when they're young. I can't thank you enough for doing this, and I'm so thrilled. Let's hope that they're listening. So peterssaves.com.
peterssaveschildrensbooks.com.
peterssaveschildrensbooks.com. Make sure you check it out. We're just going to hear from our sponsors. Thanks.
A book, either in your head or on your desk, just waiting to get out to anxious readers? Hi, I'm Stephanie Larkin, author, book developer, and head penguin at Red Penguin Books. We're a publishing company specializing in books of all genres and publishing in all formats, including digital, audible, and print books. From business books to romance, memoirs to mysteries, our authors have complete control over their books from start to print. We'll help get your book to booksellers all around. Major booksellers such as Amazon, Apple, Kobo, Walmart, even libraries and bookstores around the world. We believe in our authors. So call or email today to get your free publisher's packet to get started. Just visit us at redpenguinbooks.com and get your book out there and into the hands of your readers. At Red Penguin Books, you call all the shots. So call us today and turn your dreams into a reality.
Let's go.
Let's go, Mom. No, I've plans with her. I'm sorry, but that's the deal we made.
A little bit closer, a little bit to the left. Yes, leave your beer, please. Okay, there we go. 3, 2,
Daddy,
1.
Daddy! Daddy. Where's Mommy?
Welcome back to Between the Covers. And thanks so much for joining us. We are so thrilled to have such amazing authors with us today, and we hope that you're reading, not just their books, but reading in general. But if after you read a book, if it needs a little more love, please consider our favorite charity, the Book Fairies. If you go to thebookfairies.org, or you can bring your books right here to the show and we'd be happy to ship them over to them. The Book Fairies is right here on Long Island. They collect over 50,000 books every single month. The books are distributed to schools all over Long Island because unfortunately we do have school districts where our teachers are not able to get books to their children. So one day a month, the Book Fairies opens their warehouse so that any teacher on Long Island can drive up with a van and take what they want. Books are going to libraries here and over 50 libraries overseas. So please, please support the Book Fairies at thebookfairies.org. And where can we find you? You have a website?
Yes, it's Jerry Aylward, JerryAylward.com.
Terrific.
All lowercase. And
that's where we can find you and your books. And
the books can be found on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, independent bookstores.
Fantastic.
And some libraries and stuff like that. Or email me, reach out to me at the website, and I'll get you a book.
Terrific.
I have quite a few of them. So.
And the next book, you'll be back here.
Yes, thank you.
Roseanne, where can we find you?
At blossomkids.net. Again, I'm going to be in school districts, hopefully in libraries. You can email me. My email address is on my website. And you can also see other programs that I'm working on through Blossom Kids that I hope to bring to schools shortly.
Fantastic. Linda, where can we find you?
LindaMariaFrank.com, Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, some bookstores, and that's about it. Libraries, some
and libraries, fantastic. And Rosanna, where can we find you and Peter?
You know, on the website, which is peterssaveschildrensbooks.com. I'm in about a dozen schools now currently in Brooklyn and Manhattan, and some libraries as well.
Fantastic. And if by chance you forgot everything that you just heard, at BetweenTheCoversTV.com, you could watch this episode again, you could watch past episodes, links to all of our authors' websites, and while we were on break, I asked them to please also send along any events that you're doing. New books earns you a seat on the couch, so make sure I know when your new books are coming out, and we want to see you again, and we want to read you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any words of inspiration for our authors and readers out there?
Just go for it.
I like that.
Just go for it. Just start and see where it leads you.
Yeah, just do it. Just do it. You all did it. Look at how many you did. No fear, just jump in.
Think of it as fun.
It is fun. It is fun. I mean, it's work.
It's a lot of hard work, but think of it as fun.
I like that. And just do it. Isn't that the Nike logo?
Just don't let your self-doubt hold you back. Think of Blossom and just go for it.
That's right.
Yes.
Think of Blossom and just
right.
go for us. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week on Between the Covers.